Call this meeting of the Craven County Board of Commissioners to order. February 16th version. And Madam Clerk, would you call the meeting, roll call, please?
Commissioner Mason?
Here.
Commissioner Mitchell?
Here.
Commissioner Smith?
Here.
Commissioner Howard?
Here.
Commissioner Hunt?
Here.
Vice Chairman Jones?
Here.
Chairman Booker?
Here. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would stand, we're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance, but before that, we're going to hear a prayer from the County Attorney, Mr. Harry Grady.
Heavenly Father, Creator and Sustainer of all things, thank you for your hand of blessing on the United States of America. Thank you for guiding and protecting the land of the free and the home of the brave. We humbly ask you to pour out your peace, mercy, and grace on Craven County. We pray that you would grant all those in this assembly the integrity of Joseph, the strength of Joshua, the faithfulness of Moses, the courage of King David, the wisdom of Solomon, the endurance of Job, and the obedience of Jesus Christ as they face the challenges which may arise before them. Empower those assembled here to work efficiently for the justice of all people. Sustain them, encourage them, protect them, provide for them, guide them, and bless them as they work together in the service of our county. In the name of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have your cell phone with you, please make sure that it's on mute or silent so as not to interrupt the meeting. Commissioners, you have the agenda in front of you. Do I hear a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Mason?
Aye.
Commissioner Mitchell?
Yes.
Commissioner Smith?
Yes.
Commissioner Howard?
Yes.
Commissioner Hunt?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Jones?
Yes.
Chairman Booker?
Yes. Item number 1 is a public hearing for the Community Development Block Grant application. And Jason Frederick's going to introduce Kate Persinger. How close? Okay.
2 for 2.
Kate's going to be with us a lot tonight, so Jason, go ahead and take over from there.
Good evening, Chairman, members of the board. Thank you for the opportunity to come before you tonight. I know you've had a long day and probably from the looks at it, an even longer night, so I won't belabor my intro. But I would like to take a minute to sort of unpack why we're here tonight, because we have several items that sort of look very similar to one another. 3 public hearings to be exact, and 1 resolution request to wrap it all up when we get out of here. So the plan department is applying for several grant opportunities. CDBG CV, which is a COVID from the COVID CARES Act, it's some COVID money. CDBG ED, which is economic development, which leads to job creation, and 21 CDBG NR neighborhood revitalization. So these are all 3 different programs that we want to participate in that target specific county needs. Each one of those items I described, they require 2 public hearings. It's a federal requirement. So tonight's first public hearing, we're calling it the umbrella public hearing. So that's going to sort of be the first public hearing for all 3 of those items. And then we're going to go in one by one, some tonight, some at a future date. We're going to have that second public hearing. So CV, ED, and NR, 3 separate programs, but we're very much looking forward to launching these programs. We're very optimistic about it. Notice for all 3 public hearings was mailed to the Sun Journal and posted February 3rd, 2026. So not that she needs an introduction, but without further ado, Kate Persinger's here. She's everybody's favorite Insight Consulting Group's Housing Resiliency Consultant Program Manager. So I will turn that over to Kate. And
Thanks. Thank you, Jason.
Hello,
Thanks.
Kate.
Hello. Hi, everybody. My name is Kate Fursinger. I am, as Jason said, a Insight Consulting Group representative. We are based in Wilmington, so just a little bit further south from here. It's actually colder up here than it was in Wilmington today, shockingly. But yeah, thank you, Jason. That was a really good way to explain the CDBG program's requirements for public hearings. So the first one, I guess I'll start. The Community Development Block Grant Association or program is what you'll hear us refer to as CDBG. It is a HUD or U.S. Housing and Urban Development grant program, and the way that Craven County receives their funding from CDBG is a pass-through from the North Carolina Department of Commerce. They have a department within the Department of Commerce called RED, or the Rural Economic Development District. RED then passes the money down through Craven County, and Craven County then spends the funds how the county sees fit. And so there are a couple of different CDBG programs. They have the CDBG CV program that Jason mentioned, which is the coronavirus program, CDBG NR, which I've talked about a lot with you all, the neighborhood revitalization program that we use for housing rehabilitation services, and then they have a disaster recovery program, and then lastly they have the ED or economic development program. So the county has identified a good amount of projects that we thought would be a great fit under CDBG and not necessarily under CDBG NR, the neighborhood revitalization. And so we thought that it would be a great idea for us to kind of put our heads together and apply for some more CDBG opportunities that were available. So this first public hearing that I'd like to open to the public is a general public hearing that's not attached to any specific community development block grant program. It's just general. The county is anticipating to submit applications and or amend their current CDBG program. So I'd like to open the floor to public comment for that.
Okay, let me ask for a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved. Second.
And second. Now, my question, Mr. County Manager, can we do one public hearing on all three, or do we need to do 3 public hearings? Okay, first public hearing is on the community block grant application. So, no, we have a roll call.
We got to vote.
Okay. All in favor of opening that public hearing?
Aye.
Okay? Is there anyone in the audience who wants to speak on that subject? Hearing none, do I hear a motion to close the
Motion to
public
close the hearing?
Second.
hearing? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Awesome.
okay. Now we
So
got,
our next public hearing, we have 2 more. Our next one, this one is sort of piggybacking off of our first public hearing. This one is specific to the CDBG coronavirus or CDBG CV application. So the county intends to apply for a CDBG CV grant. We intend to apply for 2026 funds with this CDBG CV grant, and the proposed projects are public service projects, which would be purchasing equipment for various EMS and fire departments throughout the county. So we have identified different materials like defibrillators and things that really support the county's EMS and fire departments with responding to COVID-19. Even though we're sort of moved on past that, there's still some support that a lot of fire departments and EMS stations needed for that in terms of equipment. So that would be what the next CDBG public hearing would be, is to open the floor for the CDBG CV application with intent to apply for a total of $1,800,000 for the CDBG CV grant.
okay, do I hear a motion to open the public hearing for the CDBG-CV COVID block grant?
So
Yeah.
moved. Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
I have a question, if I may.
You should,
I just wanted to make sure.
hold on a second, you should have the public hearing before.
We're gonna have
Okay.
a public
Yeah,
hearing.
Sorry.
Hold that question.
I'm sorry, nobody. Okay, no one signed up. Is there anyone in the audience who wants to speak on that subject? Hearing none, do I hear a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, opposed? Okay, we got 2 public hearings.
Awesome, and with
Whoa,
that,
We have a question down
Sure.
there.
It also mentions the nature park construction.
yes, I forgot to include that. Yes, that is included in the application.
It's one of the criteria that meets the basis of the grant.
Just want to check on my part. Thank you.
Okay,
And then actually, we'll come back to that. Yep, so the last public hearing that we have, this one, it gets a little bit confusing. So this one, we wouldn't do to submit an application, but we are doing a public hearing to amend the current 2021 CDBG NR, CDBG Neighborhood Revitalization Grant that the county is currently administering. We would like to amend that to request additional funds to support some additional public services like the nature park improvements and to purchase some public services equipment or EMS equipment that is not necessarily directed to COVID-19. So in that application, we would apply for hose racks and the coveralls that the firemen wear. So that is the next public hearing to open the floor for the CDBG NR amendment to the 2021 grant program.
okay. So do I hear a motion to open the public hearing for the 2021 block grant neighborhood revitalization program?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. There's no one signed up to speak on that particular amendment, so I'll ask the audience, does anyone want to come forward and speak? Hearing no one, do I have a motion to close the public
So
hearing?
moved. Second.
Motion?
Second.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Public hearing is closed.
Beautiful.
I guess we're done with you for right now, but I think you're coming back up later.
Yes, thank you
Okay.
so much.
Thank you. Item number 4 on our agenda is a presentation of the county's 2025 annual audit. And we have Hunter Wiseman with us. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening. And Craig is handing out now a copy of the presentation summary that's also going to be in the PowerPoint on the screen. It's a little bit easier for us to follow along on this, I think. It's my pleasure to present the 2025 fiscal year audit results for Craven County. If you will, open that summary to the presentation agenda. First, we're going to start with the general comments and then any required communications, moving into the audit results, and then we will have time for questions and comments. Going to the next tab. The minimum requirements for basic financial statements include a management discussion and analysis, a government-wide financial statements, fund financial statements, notes to the financial statements, and any required supplementary information. The types of opinions that can be issued are adverse, disclaim, qualified, and unmodified. Unmodified being a clean opinion or the highest level of assurance, which is what Craven County received. Next begins our letter to governance. This was dated December 12th, 2025, which was the date that the financial statements were issued. We note here that for fiscal year June 30th, 2025, we've audited the financial statements in conformity with government auditing standards and uniform guidance as detailed in our contract dated April 4th, 2025. We do note that there were 2 new GASB statements adopted by the county this year: compensated absences, GASB statement number 101, and certain risk disclosures, GASB statement number 102. I would say that compensated absences is the most substantial change this year, which relates to the treatment of sick leave liability. We encountered no difficulties when dealing with management and the performance of our audit. In fact, we always have a good relationship with Craig and his team. We are not aware of any uncorrected material misstatements in the financial statements, and we also noted no disagreements with management over any approaches that we took during the audit. Our management representation letter was dated December 12th, 2025. We are not aware with consultation of any independent accountants during the course of the audit. Going into communicating any other significant matters, findings, or issues. We do note a couple of items, one being that utilities for the general ledger receivables should be reviewed to write off any old balances. We also note that the county should be reviewing liabilities that are collected and remitted to the state or outside agencies to ensure that they're following the proper pre-audit steps. And we also note that the county should be aware of the bond requirements to ensure that you're continuing to be in standard with the new requirement. I believe it was issued in fiscal 2023. We had no financial statement findings. There was one finding relating to compliance, which is finding 2025-001, which is detailed completely in the financial statements in the compliance section. We do note that the Local Government Commission will no longer initiate communications to the board. It will expect a response within 60 days of this presentation to any financial performance indicators of concern, which we will discuss later. As for other matters, we note here that we do not audit the information obtained from the actuarial reports for the local government employees retirement system, the Register of Deeds, schedule of proportionate share of net pension asset, the law enforcement officer special separation allowance, or for other post-employment benefits. We do want to draw your attention to the implementation of GASB Statement number 103, Financial Reporting Model Improvements. That can take a significant amount of time going into fiscal year 2026 to be sure to implement it properly. And there will be further discussion about what that means later in the presentation. Lastly, for the letter, restrictions on use. This information is intended solely for the use of the Board of Commissioners and management of Craven County and is not intended to be and should not be used by anyone other than the specified parties. Next begins the presentation of the financial results for the year ended June 30th, 2025. And you'll see that we have a breakdown here of 5 years of financial information from fiscal year 25 to fiscal year 2021. I'm going to pretty much focus on the current year column, fiscal year 2025. We have charts that follow this, which will help with viewing this in comparison to the previous 4 fiscal years. Starting with the total fund balance for the general fund, it was $69.3 million. Unavailable fund balance, non-spendable or restricted by state statute, was $16.4 million. Available fund balance was $52.9 million, and restricted, committed, and assigned fund balance was $15.4 million, leaving unassigned fund balance of $52.1 million. General fund expenditures, when including transfers out and disregarding any lease proceeds, were $152.1 million, for a fund balance available as percentage of general fund expenditures of 34.79%, or of unassigned fund balance of 34.28%. Revenues over and under expenditures before considering transfers and contributions for the general fund and water fund were $7.4 million and negative $172,000 respectively. Depreciation expense in the water fund was $1.6 million. And for the enterprise fund, net position versus cash, in the water fund, it was $35.9 million in net investment in capital assets versus an unrestricted net position of $10.1 million, and a total net position of $46.1 million, and cash of $10.1 million. The property tax rate was 0.445, with a collection percentage of 99.29% and a collection percentage excluding motor vehicles of 99.2%. The total property valuation was $14.5 billion and a net levy of $64.9 million. As for a breakdown of the general fund revenues and expenditures, the largest portion of revenues is coming from ad valorem taxes at $65.1 million, sales tax of $26.2 million, intergovernmental revenues of $35.1 million, sales and services of $20.7 million, investment earnings of $3.3 million, and miscellaneous of $1.1 million, totaling revenues of $151.7 million. And for general fund expenditures, the general government of $20.9 million, public safety at $28.6 million, environmental protection at $8.9 million, economic and physical development at $6.8 million, social services at $25.8 million, culture and recreation at $4.3 million, education at $32.1 million, and debt service at $2.7 million, totaling expenditures of $144.2 million. The government-wide net position was $227 million, with the beginning restatement of $5.2 million decrease relating to GASB Statement Number 101 implementation, for a total net position increase or decrease of $17.6 million. Next, we have a chart presenting the analysis of fund balance for the general fund. You can see that available, unassigned, and total fund balance have steadily been increasing over the previous 5 fiscal years. As an analysis of fund balance available and unassigned as a percentage of general fund expenditures, you can see that the available and the unassigned are very consistent with 2024, down slightly from 2023, and below the state average of 47.51%. I will note that the fiscal year 2025 numbers will always be trailing because the state takes all of the audit reports and combines them in order to get the number for the statewide average, which will be presented on the fiscal year 26 results. For the collection percentages of taxes, Craven County was 99.29%, again down slightly from 99.35% in the previous year, but above the state average of 99.19%, very consistent with North Carolina counties with general fund expenditures over $100 million, which is the group which Craven County is a part of. There's a breakdown of general fund revenues. As mentioned, the largest portion of revenues comes from ad valorem taxes at 42.9%, followed by intergovernmental revenues at 23.15% and sales tax at 17.3%. Next is analysis of general fund revenues by source. Presents largely the same information that was shown on the summary of information, but you can see here that ad valorem taxes are the highest, followed by intergovernmental revenue, and then sales tax. There's a breakdown of general fund expenditures. The largest portion of general fund expenditures is education at 22.25%, followed by public safety at 19.87%, and general government at 14.53%. And then a breakdown of expenditure growth by segment. You can see here comparing social services, health, education, and public safety over the previous 5 fiscal years. This slide presents a breakdown of the general fund balance as it's presented on Exhibit 3 of the financial statements. Your non-spendables include prepaids of $1.7 million and leases of $1,000. Your restricted by state stabilization is $14.6 million and public safety at $99,000. Your assigned for subsequent years expenditures of $681,000 leaving an unassigned balance of $52.1 million, or a total fund balance of $69.3 million. As I noted earlier, the LGC will no longer initiate a communication to the county for a response, but it does expect a response within 60 days of this presentation to be adopted by the board and sent to them. The item for which the county is responding to relates to a stewardship violation for the representative payee fund, which was overspent by $32,000, and the tourism authority fund, which was overspent by $89,000. The $89,000 relating to a subscription agreement, which can be difficult to budget for. Neither of these items were considered a budget violation and did not rise to the level of a finding. Lastly, these present the two new GASB statements that will be implemented in fiscal year 2026. Again, I note that number 103, financial reporting model improvements, will require the most time and detail from the finance staff to be sure to implement properly as it relates to changes in the management's discussion and analysis, updates to the proprietary fund statements, and changes to the budgetary comparison schedules as they are presented in the required supplementary information. GASB statement number 104 pertains to capital assets and ensuring that they are detailed disclosures of capital assets that are held for sale, including any classification, carrying values, or specific asset types, i.e. intangible versus tangible assets. And that concludes the presentation. Are there any questions?
Any questions for Mr. Wiseman? My observation, limited as it is that our financial health and our financial management are all looking pretty good.
Yes, sir.
And I'm sure that every county doesn't get this clean of a report, or we wouldn't bother doing audits.
No, they do not.
So,
They definitely do not.
I just have one other comment, and then the board can, for those of you in the audience and those who are watching online, I hope you noticed that education gets the largest portion of any of the major departments, with 22% of our total expenses going toward education. Now, the education, for the benefit of the public, again, is Craven County Schools and Craven County Community College. Primarily, those two entities are the recipients of these funds. And we often are accused of not funding schools, and I also noted in one of the charts that our amount of money that we've given schools over the last 5 years continues to go up. And this past year was the largest that we've ever done. So just wanted to make that point so that we, public wants to see more detail, that chart is available, that pie chart is available. So any other comments from the board?
Mr. Chairman, to piggyback off what you said too, this number doesn't include the SROs that are provided at all the schools, that the county commissioners put all those SROs in those schools.
Yeah, we fund a portion of the SRO expense, which is, I think Sheriff just walks in, 32 SROs at this point. 32 police officers dedicated to our schools. And there's some other funds, I believe, from the state that cover part of their expense. Am I correct on that, Mr. County Manager?
Yes, sir.
But a good portion of it is coming from this board, so. Does anybody have any other comments? If not, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hope
Thank you
hope
all.
we see you again next year. I hope we do just as well.
I'm sure you will. Have a
Okay.
good night.
And my comment would be also to Craig Warren. Craig, put your hand up. Those people that don't know him, that's the man responsible for keeping us with a report like that. So Craig, thank you for you and your department and what you guys have done to take care of us. Thank you. Item number 5 is the petition of citizens with topics of our current agenda, and there is no one signed up for that. So we will move to item number 6, the consent agenda. Number of items on here tonight, I'll run through them. The minutes of the January 20th regular session, tax releases and refunds, planning, a request to set a public hearing, CDBG economic development application, planning, a request for addition to state-maintained secondary road system, Forest Oak subdivision, planning, a request for addition to state-maintained secondary road system, Indian Woods subdivision, planning, a request for addition to state-maintained secondary road system, South Castle Drive, planning a subdivision for approval, Lucille Adams, a 4-lot minor subdivision, planning E911 street signs, a budget amendment, and finance reimbursement declaration for the office building in Havelock, and lastly, emergency services, a military vehicle purchase budget amendment. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approve.
Got a motion and a second? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Mason,
Aye.
Commissioner Mitchell,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner Howard,
Yes.
Commissioner Hunt,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Jones.
Yes.
Chairman Bucher.
Yes. Item number 7. A familiar face. Coming up, Community Development CARES Act, CDBG COVID resolution. Kate Fursinger. Kate,
Alphabet
welcome back.
soup. Thank you. So as the public hearing, the second public hearing we spoke of earlier for the Community Development Block Grant CV or coronavirus application, there is a resolution that the board must pass authorizing the county to submit the application.
Okay, board, we're being asked to approve and authorize me to sign the CDBG CARES Act COVID resolution and authorize the county manager to execute all documents related to this grant.
I would
Move
make
to
that
approve.
motion.
We got a motion, we got a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And item number 8, Register of Deeds. It's Joshua Core. Welcome, Josh.
Thank you. Good evening. Good evening, board. Good evening, county manager. Good evening, public. I just want to very quickly go over kind of what we've done over the last year. I know that I'm a little bit newer to the office, and I wanted to kind of explain, it's as an elected official, it's my responsibility to explain to the public what we do with their money. We do have the distinction of being one of the departments that we don't have to have our funding come from the tax rate. We generate our own funds, and we actually hand the county money at the end of the year. But I just want to briefly kind of go down kind of what's happened over the last year, and then we do have one other item to talk about afterwards. So we're going to talk about the space and records management, operational improvements, and initiatives for future planning. First off, space and records management. This was basically the first 4 months after I entered office. There was a lot, and I do mean a lot. Basically, if you take from here, this side of the dais, to the other side of the dais, stack it up with furniture and broken equipment about this tall, about this wide. I cleared that out about 4 times to get a bunch of stuff that wasn't, that had broken down and just didn't need to be there anymore. It wasn't an intentional play on anybody. It was just a fact of, as things happen, it just builds up and things break, we throw it in the closet and it gets forgotten. We cleared out so much space that I now have an opportunity where we've actually have an out of circulation room. It's one of the newest projects that we just got some of the last finishing touches put on there. It started last year. But this is an example of some of the equipment and stuff that we had to get out of there. Just again, broken printers, broken typewriters, broken label makers. When things break, they didn't get removed. They just got shoved in a closet. So Well, the other thing that we did is we evaluated which items that we had on the shelf. There are certain documents that I have, for example, real estate records, vital records, they are permanent documents. They can't go anywhere ever, period, end of story. However, there are some things that do change over time, such as shadow mortgages. They went away in the 1960s. They were supposed to be destroyed in 1967. They were never destroyed. UCCs were supposed to be destroyed in 2008. They were never destroyed. Juries logs were supposed to be given to the clerk of court in 2012. They were never given to the clerk of court. Also, fee books that were supposed to be destroyed in the 1990s, those also were destroyed. I had 129 years of mail. There's actually now a letter that was in my office that is now in the state archives because it was from the late 1800s. It was literally shoved in a drawer, left there for 130 years, and now it is in the state archives, where it should be, where it could be maintained. We also organized the vault. The predominant reason why we did this was not just because we couldn't find the books, although that was a big deal. We literally had like A through F, and then you had to go to the other side of the vault for the next series, and it was all confusing. It was all jumbled up. We now have it 1 through 7, 6, 8, and then the next series comes in, and we have them sorted by grantor, grantee, chronologically sorted. But the main reason why we did this wasn't for aesthetics or to make it easy, although that was a benefit. It was for inventory. We didn't know what we had. We now realize that we have books that have walked out of the office. Who knows? It could have been 30 days before I took office. It could have been 30 years before I took office. We don't know. And there's just no way of finding out. But what we do know now is that we have books that are missing, and we can take the steps that are necessary to replace or just to address it and move on, depending on which books are missing. So that was the first 4 months. It was a lot of work to get things just kind of stabilized so that we could actually get work done. The next 4 months, we moved into operational improvements. There was a lot of things that we did under this. We went to walk-ins only. We used to have appointments for almost everything. We have switched up the way in which we do business to make it faster. It's easier for people to come in. You don't need an appointment. You just walk in, boom, we're right there. We're helping you. You're in and out faster than you used to be, and it doesn't create a huge queue and a huge problem. We now do instant returns, whereas before I took office, you had to, when you had a real estate document, you would give that to our department. It would stay in our department for 24 hours. Then we would either put it in your box if you were an attorney and you had a box, or we'd mail it back to you. Now, we sticker the document, verify the document, hand it back to you, you walk out that day with your document. A lot of other counties have been doing this for years, we just adopted it. We updated all of our public-facing documents. We had documents that were referencing general statute that haven't been on the books since 2002, and so we removed all that stuff, made the documents easier to read, easier to understand. We updated our website. We're still updating it. If you see anything that you want changed, please let me know. We're always looking for improvements there. We did a one-stop marriage license. This is basically right now, if you get a marriage license from my office, you can pay an extra $5 fee if you choose to. It's a completely optional fee, and we will mail you your license once it comes in. Some couples, especially military, really enjoy that because they don't have to come back up here all the way from Havelock. Some don't enjoy it and they don't pay the fee and then they come back in. That's fine. It's just an extra service that we can offer as an option. We also put in place policy-based standards for denial. This one, for a week, we slowed down entire operations because basically what I told my staff is you will not tell the public no unless you have a statutory, a Craven County ordinance, or an internal policy reason to tell them no. Because we are the executive branch. We don't get to make the laws, we get to enforce them. And so if we don't have a reason to tell you no, we're not gonna tell you no. We immediately had all kinds of things where we were saying no to customers, where we have turned that around. That has increased our revenues, it's increased our customer service, and it's lowered our liability because there were multiple things that we were telling people no to that we did not have the statutory authority to say no to. We've also done risk reduction. We wrote a 172-page emergency operations manual because we had none. It doesn't cover everything, but it covers a whole lot. It's basically what do we do in case those books get flooded? And God forbid that ever happened. It never has, but let's hope that it never will. We closed open digital maintenance tunnel. This was with a third-party vendor that we had. This was the way that the school system got hacked 2 years ago. we closed that off so they can't access our terminals without our permission. We changed our online vital records vendor to Permitium, and the reason why we did that was predominantly to secure the record. Before, if you found somebody's ID card on the ground, you could send us a copy of that ID card and you could potentially get that person's birth certificate. Now with the new system, there's enough security in place to where that makes it highly unlikely for that ever to happen. Individual employee logins, we were locking each other out all the time, which was really slowing us down. And now we all have our own individual logins, so you only lock you out, not everybody else. We also cut down on the amount of receipt paper that we're using. We cut that by 50%. We cut our call volume down by 50% by changing our phone tree. We got a centralized storage system. There was literally documents in my office all over this county. We gathered them up, we put them in filing cabinets. And we put an affidavit storage system to make it faster to serve customers. We implemented a centralized digital storage called SharePoint. That way we have one document. We were having letters that we'd send out that there would be 3 different versions of the same letter, and we stopped that. We added a shredder contract because we were spending more time in manpower to shred stuff than what it was worth. Then we move into the last 6 months of what we've been doing. This is when we get out of kind of the crisis zone into more of management and actually getting things done. We've gotten some preservation work done. We sent off deed book 24. That's actually a picture of it right there. It was literally falling apart. It is from 1794, if I recall correctly. And one of our older books, not the oldest, but it was in horrible condition and needed a significant amount of work. That is currently sent off. It will be back here in a couple months. We finished map project phase 1. I'm not gonna get into all the details, but that has taken a lot of time to be able to save the maps from actually deteriorating. There is a phase 2 that we're gonna have to do, but I need more manpower to be able to do it. We have our microfilm project. Basically, you heard in that brief thing about the state law changes before in your work session. Basically what that has to do with is we have to pay a contractor to come in and microfilm stuff. What we've done is we stopped the bleeding so that we're in compliance with state law now, but we have about 20 years of non-compliance going back, and that's gonna cost over $150,000 to get into compliance. As such, we're basically, what we've done is we've just stopped it for now, and then we will address the non-compliance at a future time when we have more money. We've also completely redone the front office. Not 100% the way there, but we got a lot of things done. We did a color printer, and that was because we have a public-facing document that literally has color-coded on the marriage license who fills out what. And the reason we did that is we saw about 20 mistakes a month, which is a very involved process. You have to get people from out of state to come in. It's a whole thing when you have a marriage license messed up. We saw that go from 20 mistakes a month down to about 3 or 4, just with that one document change. We removed a wall, we removed old cabinets. That allowed us to move our map printer up front, so you're not walking 150 feet to the back and 150 feet back up front. That's saving time every day. And we painted the walls. We also are writing SOPs, because when you ask 3 different people, how do you do this process, and you get 3 different answers, that's never a good thing. So we're trying to standardize processes, make sure everybody knows exactly how we're doing it the same way. We're writing a strategic plan. I'm going to get into that in just a little bit in the next one. And we also will be writing a continuity of operations plan. Basically, what do we do if we have a hurricane and we have to pick up and we have to move over? Some of our surrounding counties, Pamlico, Beaufort, Carteret, already have those in place. So I will be using some of their techniques and such to try to get that in place for us. Before I go on to the next thing, are there any questions about the last year in the Register of Deeds office?
Question? I guess you did a pretty good job, because we don't have any questions.
That's my goal, sir. All right, the next part is we're going to talk about a scanning test project. I'm going to give you a little bit of background about this. So let's back up to the year 2001. The General Assembly put in place a automation and preservation fund. Are you okay, man? The General Assembly put in place an automation and preservation fund. Chairman, you just tell me if you want me to stop. And what that basically did is it siphons off a little bit of funds off the bottom of the income that we get. And it's designed to protect the records. The problem is, in essence, the problem is, in essence, that the money that we have coming into that fund does not fund the actual preservation costs that we have. So one of the first things I did is I tried to analyze how much we actually need in order to do preservation projects. So this chart shows exactly that. This was a year's worth of work trying to figure out all this stuff. But essentially what that solid line is the total amount of money that we have to spend. It is an astronomical number, although I did bring it down from where it originally started. It's $3.26 million. That's the amount of money that we have to spend in order to preserve all the records. That does include, by the way, getting rid of some more records that we haven't already gotten rid of. But even with that, preservation is extremely expensive. And so the red line right there shows the current funding rates. This is if we change absolutely nothing. We will get the amount of funding we need in about 202 years. The problem with that is I have documents that are going to go bad in about 10 years, and I will not have the money for it. So we have really two options. One is that I come to you 10 years from now and I ask you for an astronomical amount of money, which is a conversation that no one wants to have, or we start funding it over time. So this is the context that I brought to the county manager earlier in the late part of last year. When I brought this to him, we basically kind of came up with two ideas. One, we're going to have to discuss in the budget, which is basically how do we do this over time. We're not going to discuss that today. But the other one was let's do a test bed project to get the ball rolling a little bit, see if, get our feet wet basically. So what we did is he basically said, go ahead and do 200 books worth of scanning and send that off, and we'll do that first and then see from there. So tonight I'm here with a budget amendment. I put it out for bid. We had 2 bids on this. There's really not that many people in the state of North Carolina that do this kind of work. The bids were $64,320 and $104,679.75. $40,000 difference. The reason for the difference is because the one company physically sets up their machines in there. They scan 24/7 until they're done and then they leave. That costs a lot because you pay for hotels, transportation, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's no need for that. We don't need it done that quickly. If we did, that would be like an emergency during a hurricane type thing. So my recommendation to the board, and I'm seeking a board motion, but I will take questions before we go into that, of $6,432 for a budget amendment from the general fund balance into the contract services of the Register of Deeds. Are there any questions about that?
Questions for Joshua? Do I hear a motion? I'm sorry, you got a question?
I have one question. Does the state specify how you have to preserve the record?
Yes. So as part of this plan, that was one of the things that I went into is basically what we did is we divided the records into 2 stacks. One is the ones that I can get rid of, and one is the ones that by historical reasons, even though I could get rid of them, you wouldn't want to get rid of them. The delineating line that we came up with is when they went from handwritten books to typed books. That was roughly in the 1900s. I have 175 books that are handwritten. All the rest of them are typed, photocopied, photostat, etc. So the point being is, although by state law I'm allowed to get rid of all of them, I would recommend to the board not to get rid of those 175. That chart that I just showed you includes the preservation for those 175. That's how expensive it is. If I were to keep all of them, we'd be talking $10 million, $20 million, $30 million. It'd be an astronomical number. So this particular project that we're talking about today is just 1/8 of the 14 different projects that have to happen. It's a small sliver of a sliver of a sliver, but it's the first step in the right direction.
Okay, any other questions?
Move to approve.
I'm sorry.
Move to approve the 64,320. Is that can we do that? Is that what he's asking for?
Yes, he's asking for a budget amendment of
Move to-
$64,000 to get started.
Move to approve the budget amendment for $64,320.
Okay, we got a motion, we have a second.
We have a question over here.
Sorry, another question.
I have a question. I
Yes,
know,
ma'am.
I've think I'm probably way off, but these books that you were talking about getting rid of, are they books that tell us part of our history from 1700s and that kind of thing?
So the ones that I've elected to keep are the ones that are before the year
And
1900.
what are they? Tell me give me an example of what would be in one or two of the books.
A deed of trust, et cetera, things of that. Basically, any real estate transactions, which would include during the, unfortunately, before the Civil War, would even include, unfortunately, slave being sold, et cetera. Those ones would not be touched. It would only be the ones after the 1900s that would be exclusively things that we already have digitized, we already have microfilm. There is no state law.
So the ones that you are getting rid of are the ones that you have the information that's in the books already. You have them in another place.
Yes,
Is
ma'am.
that correct?
And to be clear, we are not talking today about getting rid of any books. That is on the timeline of that big
I
chart.
understand that.
But that is probably more than a decade out at this point. We don't have the capacity to do that today, or else we'd be talking differently today.
Okay, so I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
And a second. Madam Clerk, could you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Mason,
Aye.
Commissioner Mitchell,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
I'm not sure I want to right now. No,
Motion is for $64,000.
it's not the amount of money. I'm concerned about what it's for.
It's to get started and copy some of these documents so we can see whether this process, it would cost him millions to do it all. He's just asking for, to get started and to see what it looks like, see what we get back. Am I saying that correctly?
Yes, sir.
And I think, Commissioner Smith, from a historical preservation point of view, it's a positive, because all those things that you're concerned about, and I'm concerned about as a history mate, with someone who values history, he's gonna keep those, and this is a good step in that direction. We don't want those things to go away.
Okay, that's my concern. So often, it's my history that's thrown aside, so.
Those would not be
So-
gotten rid of. No, ma'am, those would never go anywhere.
Okay,
Are you okay with that?
I'm okay.
Well, you can vote no if you want
I
to.
just did.
Okay, so your vote is, she called your name?
Mr. Chairman, she was a no vote. She already
Okay,
articulated no
all right.
votes.
Commissioner Howard,
Yes.
Commissioner Hunt,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Jones.
Yes.
Chairman Bucher.
Yes. Okay, so you got your approval to get started, and we'll be interested once you get some examples for you to come back and show us what that looks like.
Absolutely, we'll do.
Can
Thank
we,
you.
can we make
And
comments?
before you leave, I would like to make one comment. I had the occasion to go to your office to get some resources, and I commend you for the attitude and quickness of service. So
Thank you,
you're
ma'am.
doing a great job
Okay, thank you.
in that regard. Yes.
Appreciate that.
I'll just repeat what Ms. Smith said. And if you ever look into preserving any part of our history of our county, particularly, as Ms. B was saying, the black history of our county, I'm 100% supportive of that. If backups or whatever we can have, a different proposal, maybe a different day.
And I'd love to go into that in immense detail. I do have plans for that. I'd love to talk to you about.
And I would encourage all the board to stop in and take a look at his office and see what he's done. I've only peeked in, but it looks like it's a whole lot nicer than it used to be, so,
Yes, sir.
what we saw on screen, so, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, board.
Okay. Item number 9, economic development, Mr. Jeff Wood.
Good evening, Commissioners. In fiscal year 2023, the county received $2,450,000 from the Office of State Budget and Management. These funds were deposited into the general fund to support infrastructure improvements at the industrial park. Upon reviewing the grant agreement, it was determined that the remaining grant funds must be placed in a separate fund. This action will ensure compliance with the grant agreement established with OSBM. The attached project ordinance and budget amendment is in the amount of $709,430, and that reflects the unspent grant funds and are requested for the board's approval.
Okay, Questions for Mr. Wood? Okay, if there are no questions, do I have a motion to approve the project ordinance and budget amendment in the amount of $709,430 for a state grant?
So moved.
Okay, got a motion and a second.
Second.
Okay, a second. Now we need a roll call, please.
Commissioner Mason,
Aye.
Commissioner Mitchell,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner Howard,
Yes.
Commissioner Hunt,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Jones,
Yes.
Chairman Duker.
Yes. Before you leave, Jeff, I just want to share that a couple of us were at the industrial park earlier this week for a ribbon cutting. One of the projects we approved a while back was Chatsworth Industries expanding their operations. They've already been here for a number of years, and they are moving an office here from elsewhere. And they are going to spend the building was there, but they're gonna spend $150 million setting up the lines in that building. Was that the right number?
15 million.
15 million.
150
With
jobs.
150 employees,
Correct.
once they're fully staffed. That'll take several years, but this is a very impressive operation. What they do is they build the equipment to put the computers on that are going into all these AI facilities all over the country. So they're in a perfect business right now because this business is exploding. And they are an impressive company. So Jeff, congratulations on that. And
I'd like to say too, that investment in jobs and dollars is a testament to the value proposition that Craven County gives, both through our excellent workforce, through our competitive tax rates, and our can-do attitude. We were competing with multiple states on that project, and along with a valuable piece of real estate, those other components made it happen.
I would only add lastly that I've attended in my long life a lot of events with employees, and you get a sense whether or not they brought all their employees from their existing facility. I would guess it was more than 100.
Yeah, currently they have over 200 employees.
Okay, they have 200, so they brought a couple hundred employees for lunch, and they served a full meal to these folks. And the attitude, and I sat and ate with some of these employees, the attitude was outstanding. They are a positive bunch, which is always good when when a company is gonna expand. They're obviously a company that people would wanna work for. That was my impression.
Absolutely, yeah, they are a star amongst our employers, for sure.
So that's another win for our industrial park and for our county in total as we bring in more people, more employees, more revenue. That's where that increase in our income comes from, those kind of projects. So congratulations, that was really a nice deal.
Thanks, sir.
Yep, if I may add, we sat down with some skilled trades workers who were eating, and they credited Craven Community College to build them, get the education to go to work out there. So it's been a whole effort for the county.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Carts, approval of various amended policies. Deanna Treble.
Good evening. On November 18th of 2025, individuals from North Carolina Department of Transportation and their contractor were on site to complete a compliance review of carts. A compliance review is conducted every 3 years. Both the ADA complementary paratransit policy and the procurement policy were recently updated and approved at the December 1st, 2025 Board of Commissioners meeting. Additional guidance has been provided by NCDOT requiring small amendments. All 3 policies follow state templates. As a result, the following policies are being revised. The ADA complementary paratransit policy, we're memorializing current practices such as cancellations and no-shows, suspensions procedures, wheelchair mobility and securement, service animals, and use of lifts. The procurement policy, we're adding some NCDOT procurement checklists And the grants and financial management policies and procedures were updates include clarifying staff's financial roles and responsibilities and adding the requirement for SBI criminal background checks. CARTS requests approval of the policies as amended.
Okay. So, Commissioners, you all got your copies of all this. I'm sure you all read every page.
Oh, it kept me awake. It was
Absolutely.
so exciting.
Word by word.
Word by word. Okay, so we're being asked to approve the amended ADA complimentary paratransit policy, procedure policy, and grants and financial management policies and procedures. Do I hear a motion to do
I
that?
would make the motion.
Got several motions. And a motion and a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Deanna. Okay, next is Recreation and Parks, Mark Seymour, Parks Director. Mark, welcome.
Thank you, Commissioners, for having me tonight. So, several items on the agenda for you to take a look at tonight. Start off with the Harold Bate Foundation grant. For over 25 years, the Harold Bate Foundation has been a strong advocate and partner in providing high-quality recreation opportunities to the citizens and visitors of Craven County. In November 2025, Craven County Recreation Parks received notification of a successful $50,000 grant request from the Harold Bate Foundation. Funding is allocated for amenities related to the construction of the new Craven County Nature Park. Work is ongoing at the park. The parking lots have been cleared. Utilities are actually put in today. Over the next several months, the restrooms will be installed along with construction of a shelter, footbridges, and a dock. There'll also be 5 miles worth of biking and hiking trails at the new park. The grant requires a $50,000 match with Craven County, from Craven County. The Bate Foundation, along with the Craven County match, would ensure all phases of the project can be completed. The goal is to have the park completed by June of 2026. The board is requested to accept the Bate Foundation grant and approve the related budget amendment of $50,000 to receive $100,000 to receive the grant to provide matching funds for the completion of the park project.
I moved it. So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Mm-mm.
So the letter from the Bates Foundation said that they needed to have an answer by December of 2025.
To accept the funds.
Yes. So you already did accept it?
We did accept the funds contingent upon
Okay.
approval from the board. Yeah.
I took a sneak peek on Friday. I went by.
Yeah, and we've spoken with them, and we've been working with them for 20 years. I mean, that's kind of how we operate with it.
Okay.
Right?
Mark, the entrance to go into the parking lot of the park, is it from County Line Road?
So there'll be 2 entrances.
Okay.
So the County Line Road, which is near Blue Water Rise, right past the
Yep.
bridge over there.
Yep.
So that will be the entrance for the kayaking access and the bike trails.
Okay,
Old Airport, excuse me,
Old Airport Road.
Old Airport Road. County Line Road will be more the main entrance. That's where the restroom facility will be, shelter, walking trails,
Okay.
water fountain, things like
Okay.
that.
I was there the other day and I wanted to make sure it's cleared,
Yes.
and that's where the main parking, restrooms, and entrance to the park typically, unless you're gonna go kayaking?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so both sites are cleared. Utilities is what's going in today. That's on the county line side of things.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Are there any other questions for Mark?
Yeah, I have one. So you're gonna have lighting at the other parking lot too, though, right? So you're gonna get electrical over there now, or not?
At present, we do not.
Okay.
We will be open from sun up to sundown. So once the park is, once it gets dark, we'll lock gates up.
Okay.
I would just add that this is an incredible addition to our county park system for almost nothing. The land was donated. Bate gave us 50,000 of the 100 we need to get the amenities in place. What a wonderful improvement to our county at very little cost. So, Madam Clerk, we have a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Mason?
Aye.
Commissioner Mitchell?
Yes.
Commissioner Smith?
Yes.
Commissioner Howard?
Yes.
Commissioner Hunt?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Jones?
Yes.
Chairman Bucher?
Yes. Mark?
Thank you.
Item number B.
All right, another fun, unique project that we have going on, kayak rental agreement with Craven County TDA and Whenever Water Sports. Kayak rentals have long been a popular request at Creekside Park. While the department previously offered rentals for several years, the program became difficult to maintain because demand was highest on the weekends when we didn't have staff. They were limited. To address this, staff began exploring third-party options. In recent months, Craven County Recreation Department and Craven County Tourism Development Authority, the TDA, have partnered with Whenever Water Sports to install a self-service kayak rental kiosk at Creekside Park. The kiosk will include 6 single kayaks and 2 tandem kayaks for public use during park hours. Rentals will be managed through a secure QR code system. Customers can simply scan the code on their chosen kayak, complete the registration, the required information, and unlock the equipment for use. The process makes paddling more accessible for rentals for folks coming in out of town and local folks. Kiosk costs $25,000, will be funded by the TDA. TDA and Whenever Water Sports entered a revenue sharing agreement in early 2026. Once the TDA recovers their initial investment, Craven County and the TDA will revisit a revenue sharing arrangement moving forward.
Okay. Interesting project. Board, we're being asked to approve the MOU with Craven County TDA and allow the county manager to sign the MOU agreement with Craven County TDA to partner with Whenever Water Sports to provide a kayak rental kiosk at Creekside Park. Before I get a motion, do we have questions for
I do.
Mark?
What will a rental for a kayak cost approximately?
So for 1 hour, the single kayak is $20, $19.99. 2 hours, $29.99, and $50 for a full day.
Okay.
Tandems are $40, $60 for 2 hours, and $80 for the full day.
Not bad.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I would say Havelock started this 2 years ago, and they've been highly successful. They've had no issues whatsoever.
Great. Great.
That was what we built upon about that project. That's what started us down this process.
And as I read this, we have very little or no risk.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
I would make that motion to approve the MOU.
Okay.
Is the kiosk operating now?
It is not. It is at Creekside now.
Right.
They were coming through from a conference, asked if we could put it there. I told them we need approval before any of this happens. They were willing to take that risk. We've been working with TDA and Whenever Water Sports and county attorney, and so as soon as we say go, we got nice weather coming up. We should be good to open anytime. They're ready.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Madam Clerk, let's do a roll call on this, please.
Commissioner Mason,
Aye.
Commissioner Mitchell,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner Howard,
Yes.
Commissioner Hunt,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Jones,
Yes.
Chairman Booker.
Yes. Item number C, Parks update. Mark?
All right, you got me for a few more minutes here, so I won't try to bore you too much. But in December, I believe last time I was here, Commissioner Hunt was asking about a parks update. So try to put something together, scaled down a little bit of what we usually do, but I'll go through all of our parks. If you got any questions at any time, feel free to ask, and at the end, I'll take some questions as well. So here is presently all the parks in the Craven County Park System. Creekside Park, West Craven Park, Latham Whitehurst, and Rocky Run are ones you're all familiar with and helped fund throughout the years. The Craven County Nature Park is the one we're currently working on right now, so that'll bring us to 5 parks within our system. We are, with this 176 acres, it'll put us a little over 600 acres of parkland throughout the county. Just a little 2025 in review. Over the past 12 months through Placer AI, we've had over 599,000 visitors to our parks. That is, we can track that since 2017. We have gone up year over year. This year was a record. 2 parks in particular we saw growth in. West Craven Park went up about 30% from last year, and Latham Whitehurst up around 10%. But we are seeing numbers in all of our parks, whether it's leagues, whether it's shelter reservations, whether it's birthday parties, any kind of get-together, we're seeing it grow at all of our parks. 592 total picnic shelter reservations. That ranges anywhere from 1 to 2 year old birthday parties to corporate outings from the hospital. We've had squadron get-togethers. We have, you name it, we've had it at one of our parks. Creekside and West Craven being the most popular. But Rocky Run will see some 4th of July celebrations as well as some RTC stuff at Lake and Whitehurst. Games and practices and athletics are certainly our bread and butter. We are a worker bee type of park. Folks, after 5, if you go to West Craven Park or Creekside Park, you are going to see hundreds, if not thousands of people on any given night. We had over 5,000 games and practices. That was anything from volleyball to baseball to softball to soccer, lacrosse, anything you can think of with a sport, we have it. 3,500 youth participants in our leagues and programs. We run some of these leagues. We also partner with some of the local organizations to provide some of our leagues as well. 1,700 adult participants in our leagues and programs. Those are primarily run through the county. We have our golf lessons, tennis lessons, co-ed softball, co-ed kickball. We have beach volleyball and some other classes and lessons throughout the years. 60 programs were offered by staff in 2025. That's anything from our summer day camps, our clinics, our classes throughout the year. Our busiest time is certainly during the summer for our camps, but we also offer leagues and camps and clinics throughout the year. We partner with over 30 youth and adult leagues, groups, and programs, as I mentioned, primarily West Craven Park and Creekside Park. 2 other groups that work out of our office are Special Olympics, Craven County, and Neuse River Senior Games. We have over 700 participants throughout the year participate in those events. We host our bocce days with elementary schools, middle schools, high schools out at Creekside Park in the fall. We're doing our basketball skills competitions right now at the YMCA and Stanley White. And of course, our big event with Special Olympics will be our spring games in Havelock in April. Senior games, so I think we have some participants in the audience. I know we've got some medal winners. Senior games, another big program that we offer in our department. We're registering right now. Our opening ceremonies will be April 21st, and we'll run through the first part of May. So we'll talk about some of the parks individually. Creekside Park is the largest athletic park in the county. We have 17 soccer fields. We have 2 softball fields, 2 baseball fields, adult softball, adult baseball, 8 beach volleyball courts, 3 tennis courts, 6 pickleball courts, 18-hole disc golf course, and a partridge. Exactly. So that is certainly our most popular park. We had over 450,000 visitors to the park last year. Again, it's anything from a birthday party to a youth league to just getting out and walking your dog. We try to provide something for everyone, and certainly seeing a lot of growth and use at those parks. We have 5 shelters located throughout the park. Most recent one was built by our beach volleyball courts that we'll use for our youth leagues, our adult leagues, and some of our football leagues that can use that out there. 3 playgrounds. We have our outdoor fitness equipment we've had some success with, 18-hole disc golf course, 200-foot dock that was just redone in 2021, and of course our tennis courts and our pickleball courts. Some of the capital projects, Commissioners have been very kind to us over the years. We identify areas that we could improve the parks, and we've been very successful over the years. We got some grant funding through some of these and also some county budget funding. You can see in that top left corner, that is a waterfront dock replacement. We replaced that, everything but the pilings in 2022. That was a partnership with the state grant. Has 2 fishing cutouts and 2 new kayak launches on it. Very scenic. Have a lot of folks come out, take pictures. We see a lot of Christmas cards, a lot of family pictures coming out there. Top right, you'll see the bocce courts. Those bocce courts are used by our Special Olympics bocce team, as well as hosting Senior Games bocce. We also have a group out of Taberna primarily. It's the Newton Bocce Club that comes out every Monday and Thursday. They'll have some fierce matchups out there. So we work with them, work with Special Olympics to upgrade those several years ago, and they've been very well received. Also, bottom left, that's our cornerstone, our keystone playground, inclusive playground built in 2016. Seen a lot of use. We have upgraded throughout the years, fixed equipment that needed repair, also added some turf to our musical area. It's been very well received as well. 6 new pickleball courts. The minute we opened those up, we saw folks all over the place. They continue to be popular. We have a heavy use in the morning and also youth at night. We're seeing a lot more teenage use out there at those pickleball courts. Beach volleyball courts, installed lights there. One of the things we were running into was running out of daylight. We have a very active adult league as well as a very active youth league that is using those courts. Our leagues have expanded considerably, especially with these lights, and we'll certainly see that again. This is our first year with that. We've got some new swing sets, batting cage, shelter. Again, just keeping up with stuff that we see that needs repair or we see a need for throughout the park. We're currently renovating our restrooms out at Creekside. At the front, those were built original to the park in 1997 when we had one small playground and 100 kids playing soccer. Today, we have a large playground with around 1,400 kids playing soccer, and it just outgrew its use. We're very excited about that. It's crazy to say I'm excited about a restroom project, but it is exciting to have new restrooms out there. I also replaced trucks, mowers, and gators to make sure that we're keeping up with the times. All right, West Craven Park, another very active park, very popular park. Opened in 2009. It's a multi-purpose park. We have 3 youth baseball fields, baseball, softball that we combine. We have 1 full-size field. We have 4 full-size soccer, football, lacrosse fields. Primarily football and lacrosse that is played out there. We do have some soccer with West Craven High School, but primarily it's football and soccer that plays out there. 6 tennis courts that are used by West Craven High School, and then also just by the public in general. Outdoor fitness equipment, which has become very popular. As soon as we put that out there, we're seeing a lot of folks rehabbing, using that equipment along with the quarter-mile track. It's been very, very, very well received, and we're excited about that. We've got a picnic shelter and a playground that was just built, 2 years ago. We have a driving range. We have just recently installed an 18-hole disc golf course that the Craven Chains and Fairway Disc host some tournaments between Creekside and West Craven out there. And excited, we have 6 new pickleball courts out there that are being used very often. Some of the user groups we have out there, we have a new baseball league, the West Craven Tar Heel Little League, group of locals that have put a youth league together, T-ball, minor league, major league, and potential to add some softball in the future. West Craven Eagles youth football, Craven Jaguars play their football games there as well. West Craven High School soccer and tennis also practice and play their games out there. This year we are adding the East Carolina Adult Baseball League, who was played at our fields for a little while, played at Caper Park with City of Newbern for a little while. Excited they're going to make their home field out at West Craven Park starting this weekend, actually, doing some spring training games out there. We just lit those, which I'll talk about in a second, so excited to offer that for everybody. All right, capital projects over the last 5 years, kind of mentioned it throughout. We've constructed some new swing sets that we built in-house. Our guys built those. We've got new security cameras out there. New lights on the football lacrosse field gives us 3 lit football, soccer, lacrosse fields out there. Been very well used. We can host big events and have practices any time of the year. New playground, which is right up there in the top left. I believe we have the tallest slide in Craven County. I can't say that for sure, but it's certainly right up there. It's a fun one. It's caged up, a lot of spins, and kids have enjoyed that. 2 new beach volleyball courts. Again, another popular attraction that we did not see 10, 15 years ago, but once we built the 8 at Creekside, we saw the popularity and built 2 out there, and we're seeing that as well. Again, 18-hole disc golf course, 6 new pickleball courts. New lights on baseball field 3, which is one that was approved in the budget. Those just got installed late November, so we have not actually used those for any events this year. And ECABL will be the first team that will use those here in a couple of weeks. Again, new outdoor fitness equipment, and we've replaced the truck, mower, and the field groomer. Rocky Run Park, smallest park, but still giving it some love. It's a 5-acre neighborhood park on the way to River Bend, just on the right-hand side. It is one we have enjoyed seeing the growth in. Again, had some good capital projects with work from you guys that have helped fund some of these things. Got a full court basketball court, glass backboards there. We've just redone the picnic shelter, added a new parking lot over there, so we have 2 parking lots over there. New playground structure, which you can see in the back. What you don't see is a new shade structure that's right beside that. I need to update the pictures on that. Also work with the community to add a new chess table right by the shelter. It's been very well received as well. All right. Latham Whitehurst Nature Park. Beautiful spot on the way towards Fairfield Harbor off Broad Creek Road. Opened up in 2011. That was a partnership with Coastal Land Trust, similar to what we're doing with the Craven County Nature Park. 133 acres of preserved, pristine land. Any time of the day, if the sun is out, you're going to see folks out there walking. We certainly heavy use in the spring and the fall. Summer, the bugs may take you away, but most of the time it's a fun walk, and we see a lot of folks in there. 2,000-foot dock overlooking Broad Creek with an observation area, fishing sections, canoe, kayak launch. We have trails throughout the park, gazebo on the main trail as well as off of the parking lot. All right, Craven County Nature Park. Give you a little update. We talked about it a little bit earlier. 176 acres. So the bottom right, the bottom red line is County Line Road. The longer one on the left-hand side is the red is Old Airport Road. Construction got underway in December. We are getting there. It took a while, but now that we're starting to see some momentum, I certainly feel it going well now. This will end up featuring 3 miles of nature trails. The nature trails are in the blue on the bottom right there, and also at the very tip going up to Bryce's Creek. The green will be the biking trails, and then we will also have access. You can see a little green kayak launch right there at the top left of that property. These are the parking lots that have been cleared. So the one on the left is off of Old Airport Road. Again, that's just past the bridge before you get to Blue Water Rise. That will house the entrance to the bike trails and the kayak access. The one on the bottom right is off Old Airport Road. Again, that's where we foresee the main hub of activity. That will lead you into our walking trails, restroom area, shelter, and larger parking area.
Quick question, it's okay for the chairman. I know when the Coastal Land Trust donated this, there's some limitations on development, right?
Correct.
Like, that would include lighting and other things, or no?
Lighting, I'm not sure on, but paid parking lots, permanent structures, the restroom is one that we do have, the shelter we do have, but there are some deed restrictions, which it's the same thing we dealt with the Latham Whitehurst, so it'll be similar in that regard. That was a Coastal Land Trust project.
Just made me think that earlier when Commissioner Hunt brought up that. I was thinking, could we do that? And I didn't know the answer to the question, so.
Lighting has not really been brought up. We don't have lights out at Latham Whitehurst as well, but it's the same time frame.
Okay, gotcha.
And the restrooms will run on solar, so we will not have to have anything as far as that goes. So, all right. So next steps, as I mentioned, the utilities were installed today. As a matter of fact, should finish up tomorrow. Rain pushed us back a little bit. The snow pushed us back a little bit, but we're in good ground as far as that goes. Speaking with the county engineer, we're going to put bids out for the parking lot grading and sidewalks. Hopefully that will come out this week, if not early next week. Spoke with the installer today. I actually have up there the restrooms in March, but it's actually going to be mid to late April before that's going to come in. We will then go out for our bike and hiking trail contractor. Spoken with our shelter contractor, also our dock. We've talked with that. Looking for all that to get done by summer of 2026. So there's movement along the way. Once we got it cleared, the dominoes will start falling, and we hope as the weather warms, so will the work. That is all I have. Anybody got any questions?
I have a comment.
Sure, have it.
Go ahead.
No, you go first.
The ladies first.
Oh, thank you. Will people be able to kayak from Creekside to the new nature park and
Yes.
back again?
Yes.
Okay, so there's
So
that
it's a really neat
connection
aspect of it. So Andrew was here. Andrew and Chris Warsinger, our program manager. When we first acquired this land, they paddled that, and it's about a half-day paddle, and it's a really neat paddle. You'll see
It's pretty.
all sorts of wildlife. We've seen a little bit of everything. I stumbled upon a gator at one of my walks through there.
So when the kayak rental kiosk is successful,
Mhm.
we'll have to talk to them about maybe setting up some at the other nature park for bikes maybe.
That has been discussed. It's a good idea.
I just want to commend your team for being responsive to my constituents' concern over the road into Latham Whitehurst. They submitted the complaint and it was done within 2 days, I think. So thank you very much, and you're doing a great job.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Other questions? Comments?
I have a comment.
Yes, ma'am.
I congratulate you also on the good job you're doing. And I would like to mention that in the city of New Bern, we have 2 small areas that your group has helped a little bit with. And that one is Sampson Park. Sampson Park has not received funds, but the county manager has gotten together with the city manager to look at some things that they can do in-kind services to Sampson Park, and the same for the Pembroke Park. So we appreciate that, and I think our citizens need to know that as well.
Do anything we can to help.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any others? Mark, thank you for coming. Appreciate what you're doing, and good stuff. We are, again, blessed in this county with wonderful parks, and we appreciate it.
Thank y'all for all your support. Y'all have a good.
Appointments. Under pending, we have the Craven Aging Planning Board, NC Senior Tar Heel Rep. We have the Craven County Clean Sweep Committee with 2 vacancies, Craven County Prevention Council, Crime Prevention Council, under 21, and Volunteer Agriculture District.
Mr. Chairman, under Voluntary Agriculture District, we've had a vacancy for quite some time. I'd like to nominate Ms. Marjorie Gonzalez for it.
Are there any other nominations for that position? Hearing none, we will approve her by acclamation. Under current, Adult Care Home Advisory Committee, Breath Powers received necessary state certification and seeks appointment to fill the seat vacated by Carmel George for health reasons. Do I have a nomination for Breath Powers?
I'll nominate Breath Powers.
Okay. And are there any other nominations? Hearing none, she will be approved by acclamation. Next is the Emergency Medical Services Advisory Council. Nathan Awalt seeks appointment to the seat vacated by Bill Smith as recommended, EMS provider, private friendly medical transport. Do I have a nomination for Mr. Nathan Awalt?
I'll nominate Nathan Awalt.
Okay, are there any other nominations? Hearing none, Mr. Nathan Awalt will be appointed by acclamation. Lydia Monette seeks appointment to fill the seat vacated by C.J. Hill as recommended, EMS provider, Cove City Rescue. Do I have a nomination for Lydia Monette?
Mr. Chairman, I nominate Ms. Minette.
Okay, do I have any other nominations? Hearing none, she will be appointed by acclamation. And Tony Fisher seeks reappointment, Emergency Medical Dispatch Havelock Communication. Do I have a nomination for Tony Fisher?
I would nominate Tony Fisher.
Are there here any other nominations? If not, he will be appointed by acclamation. Thank you. Fire Tax Commissioners Board, Chad Braxton seeks appointment to fill a vacancy due to the recent passing of board member Alan Gaskins, Township 1 Vansboro Fire.
Mr. Chairman, I nominate Mayor Chad Braxton to the Township 1 Vansboro Fire.
Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, Mr. Braxton will be appointed by acclamation. Last but not least, Marissa Byer seeks reappointment to the Juvenile Crime Prevention Council. Do I hear a nomination for Ms. Byer?
Mr. Chair, I nominate Melissa Byer.
Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, Marissa Beyer will be reappointed by acclamation. We have no upcoming appointments at this time. Item number 13, County Attorney's Report.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, good evening. I have 3 items for your consideration this evening. All 3 involve the sale of county-owned surplus property acquired through the tax foreclosure process. The first parcel is an initial offer to purchase for property located at 1428 Lincoln Street. It is within the city of New Bern with a parcel ID number of 8013055. The offer amount is $4,250. The original past due taxes and cost of foreclosure together were $2,558.19. The tax value of the property is $8,500. We do own this jointly with the city of New Bern, which has already given its initial approval to this offer. I would suggest that the board consider doing likewise so we can put it out for upset bids.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Mason,
Aye.
Commissioner Mitchell,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner Howard,
Yes.
Commissioner Hunt,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Jones,
Yes.
Chairman Booker.
Yes. Item B, initial offer to purchase real property, 615 First Avenue.
Yes, sir. Also located within the city of New Bern with a parcel ID number of 8012205. We've got an offer amount of $2,700. The original past due taxes and cost of foreclosure, at least as listed in the original deed from 2003, were $388.96. We believe that may not be accurate, but the actual number has been lost to history, as I would call it. The tax value of the property is $5,400. We do own this jointly with the city of New Bern, which has already given its initial approval. I would suggest the board consider doing likewise.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Mason,
Aye.
Commissioner Mitchell,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner Howard,
Yes.
Commissioner Hunt,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Jones,
Yes.
Chairman Booker.
Yes. Third item, initial offer to purchase real property, 1205 Mechanic Street.
Yes, sir. Also located within the city of New Bern with a parcel ID number of 8014318. We've got an initial offer amount of $3,000. The original past due taxes and cost of the tax foreclosure totaled $4,555.58. The tax value of this property is $6,000. We do own it jointly with the city of New Bern, which has already given its initial approval, and I would suggest the board consider doing likewise.
Okay, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Mason,
Aye.
Commissioner Mitchell,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner Howard,
Yes.
Commissioner Hunt,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Jones,
Yes.
Chairman Booker.
Yes.
That concludes my report, Mr.
Thank
Chairman.
you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Item number 14, petition of citizens.
Mr. Chairman, we've had 3 citizens to sign up this evening. The first is Mr. Ray Griffin.
Amen. God bless you. Ray Griffin, 1981, Streetsville Road, Vanceboro. Did I hear right when I heard in the name of Jesus? Was that right? Jason, on your letter, when I signed in right there, and it says under what we're going to say, can you read what is said there?
Nothing is impossible with God.
I wrote that tonight before we came in. Nothing is impossible with God if we work on it. Years ago, some of you remember Pete Bland? He was chairman here in 2001. When we petitioned to put in the 10 Commandments, Pete said we could not do it. Jimmy Hicks was here. Suggs was here. Laurie said we cannot do it. And anyhow, turned around, Pete said, no need for you to come back. We can't do it. We went on for about a year. I said, Pete, we can do it. This law's been passed. We can do it. Pete said, we can't do it. And Pete said, no need for you to come back anymore. About a month or two later, I was sitting in Veers Diner. And who came in? Pete came in and sat down and said, Brother Ray, we're going to put those 10 Commandments up. So don't say we can't do something when nothing is impossible with God. I wrote that tonight before we even came in here. I put it on that list, so if it worked out. What I'm saying is keep up with good. I've heard a lot of good things tonight. Parks and recreation, our world is, to be honest with you, going to hell in a handbasket. Kids need a good education. They need places to go, things to do, other than run up and down the roads and different things. But like I said, God's still in control. But like I said, Pete came in that day, and that is called the Democratic headquarters there. But at that point in time, Lee K. Allen, there were several Republicans, and McCabe and all of them were here. Sampson was here. It was divided with Democrats and Republicans. And they decided to put those 10 commandments up. Nothing is impossible with God. So just remember that. And thank God for what God is doing. Praise God that maybe America will get back to some general standards, some good standards, and we can have some peace. The Bible says that we'll never have peace until Jerusalem. Pray for Jerusalem to have peace. When they come back and sets up his throne in Jerusalem, then we'll have peace. But until then, we're going to have to survive. But anyhow, God bless you. I appreciate it, and you keep up the good work. And I hope this is not just a one-time thing. It will last forever and ever. Amen? But remember, nothing's impossible with God. Keep that sheet and remember. Amen.
Mr. Chairman, next citizen is Mr. David French.
I'm David French, 104 Johnson, 1,481 number of days from Hurricane Florence in 2018 to when Cousin Marianne passed away in 2022, never returning home due to the absolute fraud of Roy Cooper and Josh Stein over 4 long years. 2,712 number of days that I have been out of my home over 7 years. 11,654 number of people who applied for the Rebuild NC help. 3,522 number of people supposedly help, about 30% have issues with the quality of work. 8,132 number of people not help, of which I am one. 1.3 billion taxpayer funds mismanaged by Encore Rebuild NC HUD. 316 number of days it took Rebuild NC to respond to my valid appeal. They were required to respond within 15 calendar days. 144 number of pages of Rebuild NC's response to my valid appeal, research written by at least 3 state of North Carolina taxpayer-funded attorneys. 0 number of attorneys that I have. 2 number of North Carolina elected officials and staff who have helped us. Craven County Commissioner Jason Jones, who is not even my representative, and Craven County Planner Chad Strong. 2 number of ENC candidates helping us. Colonel retired Laurie Buckhout, Republican candidate for U.S. House NC 1. Angela Humphreys, NC State Libertarian candidate for NC House 3. 105,000 amount of fines that the city of New Bern has assessed against Cousin Marianne, a stroke and hurricane survivor, and now me, instead of helping us get back home years ago. This is the absolute failure of former Mayor Outlaw and present Mayor Odom. At least 3. The number of times that Rebuild NC has been given information that proves that I own my home. 0. The number of elected officials holding Rebuild NC accountable. Roy Cooper has committed crimes against humanity. Josh Stein said he doesn't have time to meet with the hurricane flood survivors of ENC. Eddie Buffalo, Laura Hogshead, Pryor Gibson, Matthew Arling, Richard Trumper, why have they not been investigated? Greg Murphy, Steve Tyson, and Bob Brinson refused to fight for us, will not even sit down with me to get me back home. Dave Bullock lied under oath about the Rebuild NC fraud. Denny Booker, my Craven County Commissioner, said it's not his job. We must stop sending billions to foreign countries. We got to help the people here at home. Will you please help us? My prayers are for ENC and WNC. I will keep my family home. I will keep my temporary apartment. I will keep my family belongings in storage. Encore Rebuild NC HUD will fulfill my signed contract and will pay the back and future stipend and storage until I'm back in my completed home. The Lord is our shepherd. We shall not want. I will not yield. What do y'all have to say? This is a crisis in eastern North Carolina. What do you have to say?
We don't respond to speakers at this time.
And I would like to call you out on that because you responded when it was about a trailer park next to your people. I call you out for being a hypocrite, sir.
Your time is up.
I call you out for being a hypocrite. You're concerned about you, but you're not concerned about the 8,000 people who are not home.
Your time is up, sir.
Shame on you.
Mr. Chairman, our next citizen is Mr. Tom Glasgow.
Good evening, Tom Glasgow, 105 Lookout Lane. Excuse me. In 2005, a Craven County resident appeared in Superior Court to answer charges of a noise ordinance violation. The individual had accumulated well over 60 dogs in her backyard in a subdivision near West Craven High School. So we have extreme noise, the ordinance is enforced, it's not complicated. But when a large number of dogs in outdoor kennels began to accumulate on land adjacent to our neighborhood in 2007, there was no enforcement of anything. These were hunting dogs. It shouldn't matter regardless of who owns the dogs or what sort of dogs they are. Family pet, hunting dogs, beagles, hyenas, werewolves, whatever. Shouldn't matter. But that's not how things were handled. Despite years of complaints from numerous individuals, nothing was done until 2015, when the board revised the ordinance to elevate noise violations from civil to misdemeanor so as to resolve a nightclub issue, at the same time excluding domesticated animals. That was a win for a minority of dog owners, but it continues to tie the hands of people dealing with extreme and chronic animal noise. Today, according to my research, only 3 or 4 out of 44 counties in eastern North Carolina definitely do not have a noise ordinance. Another 4 or 5 appear to have noise ordinances, but the content is unclear or contradictory. 34 counties have noise ordinances that include barking dogs. Only Craven and one other county explicitly exclude dogs and/or domesticated animals. I'm a dog owner myself, but my right to own 1 dog or 10 dogs does not nullify the privacy rights of the people around me. I'm just not that big of a deal. But neither is anyone else. If this was 19th century Alaska and people relied on dogs for transportation, then dog barking would not be an issue. But Craven County is not 19th century Alaska, and there are times when something needs to be done. The current ordinance ignores that reality and should be revisited. Barking dogs should be included in the Craven County noise ordinance as they are in the great majority of eastern NC counties that have noise ordinances. Thanks for your time.
That's it, Mr.
That's
Chairman.
it, thank you. Okay, item number 15, Craven County Manager's Report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Appreciate the time tonight. I want to start with a recognition. A really important milestone was achieved Friday, and that was our clerk, Abigail Wilson, is now a North Carolina certified clerk. She put in the hard work and is doing a really great job, and I'm really proud of Abigail for that achievement. Just an update on a couple things. Some have been mentioned earlier, so I won't go into detail. Did attend the Chatsworth ribbon cutting. I agree with everything Chairman Booker said. What a great day, great investment here in Craven County for that. And I look forward to some additional ribbon cuttings in the near future. I was able to attend a visit from the Lieutenant Governor last week to Craven Community College in Havelock. She was focused on workforce development. It again reminded me of the really neat things that we're able to do through our community college system, particularly training the workforce for military-related things in aviation in Havelock. I was equally impressed with the NC State students there. What an asset to have a campus of NC State on eastern Craven County. I saw a lot of room to grow. Really, really great programs down there. Also, many of you noted there was some snow here. That was the one time every 20 years we're going to have a snowstorm like that. I'll say that. We'll get it next week, so I'm going to jinx myself. But I do want to thank the essential Craven County employees that no matter the amount of snow, the amount of wind, the amount of rain, they're out there doing their job. Sheriff's Office, communication, hospice, animal shelter, maintenance folks. I mean, really, they make a difference. And I know Sheriff Hughes had his crew out and talked to him quite often about it. I really want to thank our maintenance team. They really got on top of everything. We were to open Wednesday. If you'd told me Saturday when I thought we'd open, I'd say Friday. But a little sun and a little warmer temperature helped us out there. So, again, thanks to those folks. Also attended with Jeff Wood. We hosted a contingent from the Southeast Economic Development Partnership. We met with Jones County. Some really interesting opportunities out there. It was great to see sort of how we can partner with them. Look forward to briefing the board on things like that in the future. Other than that, Mr. Chairman, I'm here for questions if anybody has them or comments.
Questions for the county manager? No?
We do have a closed session on the agenda, and the attorney, as we get to that point, will take you in on the citation.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Next report would be the commissioner's report. Who would like to go first? Mrs. Hunt.
Okay. Parks and Rec. Parks and Rec are really important to me because they're important to everybody. Parks and Rec is, I don't want to go on and on, but it's healthcare. It's mental health care. And we're at the point now where we know that mental health care is health care, right? So everything you're doing out there is needed and appreciated, and I'm going to continue to support all of those projects. Mr. Core, I supported your proposal tonight because I believe those documents that you're going to scan correctly will have impactful meaning to the residents in District 5 that are south of Havelock. And so I appreciate that. I do understand where Ms. B's coming from, so we can have some further discussion about that as well. But that's why I supported that proposal you brought before the board tonight. Take a moment to brag on my Harlow Volunteer Auxiliary again. Their chili sale was extremely successful. I thank all of those members and for all that hard work that they put into that to raise funds to buy items that the firehouse would like to have to make their jobs more successful, keeping fires to minimum and putting them out as quickly as possible. Additionally, that same auxiliary held a blood drive yesterday, and their goal was 19 donors. They had 26 donors. So I thank everybody in that auxiliary, and I thank all those donors that have saved multiple lives by taking 2 hours out of their day on Valentine's Day to save other people's lives. That's very, very impactful. And if you haven't donated blood recently, I would highly encourage you to donate. With the snow that most of the state of North Carolina got, because it wasn't just East Coast, it was West Coast too, many, many blood drives were canceled because of that. So if you have not, please look up Red Cross blood drives. They're all over Craven County, and give some blood, please. And lastly, I want to say I lost two great American patriots. As we were sitting here, I got notification that my uncle Red Daisy passed away. Great American patriot. I ask that you pray for his family. Yesterday, another great American patriot passed away in Craven County that most of us know. A very good man, former Craven County GOP chair, Rick Hopkins, passed away. Very unexpected, and I would ask that you pray for his family to lift them up and support them as they transition to their new life without someone such a good man. And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Well, Mrs. Smith, do you have anything?
I do. First of all, I'd like to say to our Register of Deeds, what I'm saying is I'm not trying to say anything negative about you and your process, but I have lived for quite a long time. When you've lived 8 or more years, you know you've been around for a while. And I have seen through these years many times when black history, black interest has been denied, pushed aside, and eliminated. I have had my personal libraries at schools when we are asked to update the library. And a lot of the black books, when you go in, those books have been taken out, thrown away. You know, so it depends on who's doing the job and what they appreciate. And I understand that. And so it's what I'm saying is not an indictment against you, but I know what happens. And so I'm asking you and whoever else is a part of that, that when we are updating, that we're careful to remember the history, not just of the black people, of anyone. Because sometimes just someone saying that John Brown had 10 sisters or 2 brothers, when we are trying to find who we are, that helps us to know who we are. When you don't have that continuous line that you can follow, it helps us to find ourselves. And that's important. The other thing I'd like to say tonight is this month is Black History Month. So, and we're having a parade on Saturday. We've had already several activities and continue to have more. And I would appreciate it if you would take part or just watch. I plan, if I'm well enough to be in the parade, look forward to it. And I do thank all of you for what you do. And I'm not trying to, as I said again, make an indictment against anyone. But I think it's important that we understand that who we are and where we come from is important. And sometimes it takes a little more effort to remember that. But let's do that. Thank you.
Okay.
I'll just quickly echo what Commissioner Hunt said about the Hopkins family. Prayers to Ann, Melissa, Melanie, and the rest of the Hopkins family. Rick and I have been friends for a long time. I recruited him into many things. Same with him, recruiting me into some things, getting involved in different activities and events. I'll miss him. So if you get a chance to talk to Ann or Melissa or Melanie or any other member of his family, do that. That's all I have.
Nothing to report.
I have nothing to report. Do I have a motion to go into closed session?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
You want to tell us the,
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. It's pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 143-318-11A7.
okay? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we're in closed session. Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight.